Okay. The camera's on because I don't see them. Anyway. Hi. Welcome to Essential Living with Pilar. I am Pilar, your host. And Essential Living with Pilar, in case you've never watched the show before, is a show about all things holistic, all things in harmony with planetary well-being, human evolution, consciousness expansion, just holistic everything. And we've covered many different topics on healing, creating your own reality, different methods for raising your vibration, and clearing all sorts of past negativity, all sorts of things. But we've started on the topic of essential oils because they're sort of the companion for anything and everything that has preceded, and should be the companion to everything that is healing, and it is good for the environment, good for your inner environment, your own home, your family. Everything. The most powerful tools that you can use are essential oils, and they're the most compatible with our own human body. And there are all, of course, natural. You can consider them the soul of the plant, so there is no harm or any negative side effect at all ever onto anything. So welcome to fall. This is my favorite season of the year, and now when the tree leaves change and we get into a different mood, back to school, for me it's sort of the beginning of the new year, and in some cultures it is. Just the last few weeks, the new year for the Jewish culture was celebrated, Rosh Hashanah. And so, but in spite of all of that, just the fact of going back to school when the summer ends, for me it just feels like it's really the unofficial beginning of the year. And so things are different. It's harvest time. Food is different. We start going into warmer foods, richer foods, even desserts are different. So essential oils are the perfect addition to any and all of that to enhance your fall experience. So I wanted to share some of that with you tonight. It is also the time of year where people expect to get sick. I think that's why they get sick mostly, because they just wait for it. They have already set up that pattern of thinking that, everybody gets sick this time of year. It's this time of year where people get colds. And there are reasons why that happen. Most of it is mental. But when it comes to the physical aspect, is because the weather does change a bit, and we don't remember to take care of ourselves in alignment with the seasonal change. And so I would recommend that you start eating more warmed cooked foods. Of course, now you have all the pumpkins in season, all the squashes. All of those things are a good foundation for just hearty warm meals, like big hearty soups and so on. And essential oils are the perfect addition to them. Instead, you can even use them instead of the spices you normally use. So I'm going to give you a few tips on that. But first, before we start on the cooking tips, I want to give you a little mixture. And this was not something I had planned to do so early in the talk. But anyway, because everybody is on the borderline edge of getting a cold, I want to give you a little combination of oils to carry around. You can get a little spray bottle like this one, or similar, doesn't have to be exactly. And you can use filtered water, spring water preferably, and you can make yourself a little throat spray, and it'll kill any bacteria, soothe the throat, get rid of anything that might be heading your way unwanted, because you want to set some boundaries for yourself, and essential oils are great to provide that. Not to get anything away from you, but just to create a barrier of protection. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is to please Get yourself a little bottle, get yourself some water in it, and you're going to use certain oils. And we'll repeat them later. In case you have not watched this show before, it's always a good idea to get a pen and a notepad so you can write some little notes that I may give you, some recipes, any questions you may pop in. You can always contact me to ask me more details on anything that I talk about. And I'll give you my email before I forget, and I'll repeat it later. It's essentiallivingwithpilar@gmail.com. If you need any extra guidance with essential oils, what to get, which to get, how to get them, because you want to make sure that you get highest quality products because you deserve it. And it's all about treating yourself well. Self-care is the primary thing that we should all put on our list of priorities, because it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves, and nobody can do it for us, not really. So if we take care of ourselves and fill up our energy tank, then we can be more available to enjoy our lives and to help others if needed, including in our own home, and just be available to enjoy your life instead of being bogged down with any sort of unnecessary, unwelcome guests, like colds, flu, any of that nonsense. You don't need that. It's only a belief, and you don't need to buy into that. So get yourself a little bottle, get yourself some water in it, and you want to put in it a couple of drops of cinnamon oil, a couple of drops of clove oil, a couple of drops of eucalyptus, rosemary, and orange. Those are the ones for the throat spray. You can add actually peppermint to it, like you see on the list here. But those are the ones for your throat spray. So I'm going to repeat the ones for the throat spray. Cinnamon, clove, orange, eucalyptus, rosemary. You could put a couple of drops of each, shake it up, and ooh, it's hot, because the cinnamon and the clove are going to kick your butt a little bit. The orange makes it taste good. Orange is a good oil to use just in general. It goes well with everything. If there are some oils that you are not exactly in love with because they may be too greeny or too harsh in some way, adding a little orange to any oil pretty much kind of rounds it off into a really nice scent and a really nice flavor. And so that's a definitely one that you want to always have around. The other thing, you want to diffuse the oils in your house. If you have an electric diffuser, that's great. This is the old school diffuser that most people don't use anymore, but I love it. It's because now they have so many different kinds of diffuser. Back in the day, they didn't have any. This was it. And it's a little candle inside this cavity here. You light the candle, and you fill up the little bowl with water. I can't do it here because we shouldn't have water here. Fill it up with water while the candle is lit. Drop a few essential oils in there, and the heat of the candle will warm up the oils and disperse them into the room for a lovely aroma. Make it a beautiful atmosphere anywhere that you are. Please throw away Glade plugins, scented candles. I'm sorry, those are all toxic. They'll kill you. There's no other way for me to soft pedal it. You don't believe me? Look it up. But get rid of all that crap and replace them with some nice essential oils for your home. You deserve to be healthy and surround yourself with things that support you and make you feel better, not silently kill you or deteriorate your life. That goes for you, if you have kids, pets especially are especially sensitive to anything like that. Please get all that junk out of your house and replace them with good things. So a wonderful blend to put into your diffuser or oil lamp like this for any gathering that are now coming up. Mix up that orange again and spruce those two together, I would put more of the pine. Doesn't have to be just spruce. Any pine essential oil that you like. There's spruce, there's fir, many varieties. So maybe double of the pine to one part of the orange, and it'll be an unforgettable aroma that you'll love. And it's also very purifying. So anything that's the magnificence about essential oils. Not only do they smell good, but they are doing the work. They work on the physical body, the emotional system of the body, your mental body. So because you inhale them, and that is your most immediate way to take in essential oils and experience them is through your nose. You put a little drop in your hand. You know, you can open a bottle. You don't have to make it complicated. Boom, boom. Rub your hands together and inhale deeply. They go straight to your brain and start working immediately, literally. And so making the room smell lovely, making everybody in the room feel good, calm, or maybe sometimes you need a little pick-me-up, so you would use something like rosemary and orange if you're focusing on a project and you need to stay up late. Put that in your diffuser, or you can just put it in your hands and inhale it. But it's never going to be too much. It's always going to be adapting to whatever you need at the moment, but it's going to always support what you need at the moment. So, they work quickly, so they have multifaceted benefits going on at all times. So that's why it's so important to take advantage of them to the maximum that you can, including them also putting them into your food. You can cook with them. So for all those pies that you're going to be baking, for all of those cobblers, even soups or stews, especially those that are, now of course we're like into sweet potato, yams, pumpkin, all of those things. Get your cinnamon oil and nutmeg, and there you are. You don't have to even use the powdered spices, and you get, I don't even know how many times the benefit of just either the dry herb or the powder, in whatever case may be. So make your food healing, elevate the vibration of your food with essential oils. Put them into your lattes. Put a little drop of cinnamon in your latte, or a drop of nutmeg in your, whatever it is, your coffee, your tea. Just include essential oils in everything you really ingest. But again, the caveat is you have to use a brand that is pure and 100% essential oils, not mixed or diluted with anything. Just be sure you get yourself the best, because you deserve it. So any and all of those combinations, you can play with it. You're going to have to be creative. Orange kind of is a common denominator, like I was saying before, and it's also the oil of abundance. So it goes perfect with this time of year, since it's harvest time and we're reaping the harvest of everything that came along. So symbolically or literally, it's just a good oil to always have around, because it is uplifting, it is refreshing, and it just goes well with everything. Get yourself some coconut oil. Make yourself even a body lotion. Get a little bit of, if you just want to try a little bit, get a tablespoonful of organic coconut oil, raw organic coconut oil. Drop a couple of drops of essential oil into it, mix it up, and just rub it on as a moisturizer. Add it into your bath for a relaxing experience of, again, self-care, self-care, self-care. If you go see a massage therapist, then hopefully they use essential oils. But if they don't, or they don't have the kinds you like, bring your own. I'm sure that they wouldn't object. You're saving them product if they don't have to use the one that they use themselves. Or maybe you can educate them in case that they're not that savvy. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. I would definitely say to choose a massage therapist that is definitely savvy with essential oils, because you're going to just get a better massage, just in general. Just the other thing that you can do with them is, of course, they're very portable. So you can get tiny little bottles, which you can get little tiny bottles online anywhere you can get a whole bunch for cheap. Make sure that they're brown glass or dark blue. They're often they're dark blue, just not clear glass, because they're very sensitive to light. You want to keep them always in a cool, dry, dark place, away from any direct sunlight. So get yourself a little cabinet or find a spot or drawer somewhere you can store them so they don't get damaged by excessive light or any shift in any dramatic shift in temperature is something that you want to keep your oils away from. But keep them handy. Keep lavender oil in the kitchen all the time. Here it is, I have a burn that never blistered because I, did get kind of a little ugly, but it never got the blister. Keep a bottle of lavender oil in the kitchen at all times, because as soon as you get a burn, don't reach for the butter, don't reach for the cold water, don't reach for the ice, none of that. Go get the lavender oil, douse the burn with lavender oil, make sure you keep it on there a good amount, not just don't be cheap. Put a lot of it on and just let it sit, don't add anything to it. Trust me, please, on this 100%, you will never get a blister as long as you catch it quickly enough without anything else interfering with it. That is foolproof, 100% proven. It'll work every time, and it should be really your number one oil of your emergency kit is lavender essential oil. Should you give in to the habit of catching a cold too, peppermint oil in a little bit of coconut oil, again, a couple of drops of peppermint oil, you can make a soothing chest rub instead of the store-bought Vicks or anything like that. Nothing wrong with Vicks, but I grew up with it, and I was actually kind of addicted to it. I loved it so much. But it's crazy. But the essential oil of peppermint is going to give you a much faster result, expectorating, clearing your bronchial passages, clearing your sinuses. It'll get rid of any headache. Put it in the back of your neck, on your temples. Do not ever get essential oils in your eyes, in your nostrils, or any other sensitive areas of the body, because you will never forget it. But keep that peppermint oil handy, and if you do get a cold, just make sure that you have it handy and rub it on the bottom of your feet also, because it works really fast. And if you don't love the smell, you can put on socks, and there you go. Also, it's good to help support you if you get a fever, because of the kind of hot, cold quality of it. It's very helpful to kind of feel the body cool down from any feverish sensation, and it'll help you kind of get rid of it a lot faster than using other things. So all of those are important tricks. Another good use for your peppermint essential oil, well, it's an awesome breath freshener, so you can always pick up the bottle of peppermint if, do this, put a little drop on your finger, rub it in the back of your tongue, freshens your breath immediately. It's good for your gums, it's good for your throat, it always clears out any phlegm that you may have. If you are going to gatherings where there's a lot of food, which usually starts happening right about now, and you overeat and you feel like you have indigestion, a couple of drops of peppermint oil into a little shot glass of water, just drink it, and that indigestion feeling or nausea or whatever, you ate too much, too full, will go away immediately. And if you get heartburn too, it'll help soothe that feeling of irritation. It'll calm it down. So it has, I could go on and on and on about the benefits of it, and I will. But for today's purposes of using these oils, particularly for the fall, make sure you get those essential ones for the season, because it'll just make your fall season just so much more wonderful. Another thing too with peppermint, before I forget, hot chocolate. If you make yourself a cup of hot chocolate, drop a drop of peppermint essential oil into the hot chocolate, and there's your peppermint hot chocolate, and it's better than any artificial additive that you may get anywhere else in a coffee shop or anything. The essential oil is phenomenal, and it'll just give you that York peppermint patty flavor. That is absolutely delicious, and it has all the health benefits. Always remember that whatever oil you're using, not only are you getting the aromatic effects of the oil and the flavor, you're getting the therapeutic, healing, supportive effects of the oil. So the other thing before I forget to mention too, this time of year, again, cold season and all of that, in traditional Chinese medicine, every season is related to an organ. And so the fall season is lung season. So of course that's why we're a little bit more vulnerable because of the weather change. And it's also a time of letting go of things. Even by nature, you see the tree leaves fall, getting ready for the new. So sometimes that can be an emotionally challenging thing to let go of, that ending of the summer. It does feel like the year is winding down. Sometimes we start reviewing the year that went by, and sometimes we judge ourselves like, well, maybe we didn't do as well as we should have, or shoulda, coulda, would have. All of those things end up creating a sense of grief and sadness. So the lungs are the organ that are related to that grief and sadness. So then you want to make sure that you use all the support that you can get. Excuse me. So peppermint oil is perfect for lung support. Any questions that you have, please email me. I'm happy to share whatever you need to know. So email me at essentiallivingwithpilar@gmail.com if you have any questions or you want any suggestions. But yeah, get yourself your list. What was the list again? I hope you wrote it down. It is cinnamon. Let me see if I remember. Oh, there it is. Cinnamon, clove, orange. I mean, you can just taste them. Peppermint, nutmeg. Add them, because you could just taste your pumpkin pie or apple pie, right? Spruce and orange in your diffuser. You'll remember this conversation. It's so wonderful. Eucalyptus and rosemary are the ones that you want to include into your little spray bottle, along with the cinnamon, clove, orange. You can add peppermint if you want, but the ones for the bottle for your throat: cinnamon, clove, orange, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Those are your magic bullets. Those are your, you spray it on doorknobs too, wherever, door handles, doorknobs, wipe surfaces with it. You'll be glad you did. And I bet you won't get as sick as you are accustomed to getting in the past. And use it on your kids. Put that in get yourself a diffuser if you don't have one, and get going with your essential life, because it just is so supportive in every way that if you want to move forward with whatever you want to create now for yourself and in the next coming year, fill up your tank as much as you can and take care of yourself. And this is the best tool to do it with. So, and you can take them everywhere. That said, that's all I have to say for right now. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy and got a lot of what you heard today, and hope you learned something. And I'm always available for more if you're interested. And stay warm, enjoy warm, delicious fall foods. Go for beautiful long walks in nature. Breathe in that fresh air. Connect with yourself, your inner being. Use essential oils for that too. And start enjoying your life if you're not already doing so, because as you take care of yourself and improve your immediate circle of influence in your world, that can only radiate outward a lot further than you can ever imagine. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for our Thurston County Media family for making this possible. And I shall see you next month. Thank you, and have a good night.